It's Sick and Tired here, and today I have scoured the deepest depths of Reddit to find you guys the most insane posts from entitled, crazy, and narcissistic parents. If that is something you think you'd enjoy, well, that is what we mainly do here. So I would please ask that you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification button. That way you never miss your weekly support group. You can also join my Patreon if you would like to have these same videos unedited and uncensored. Well, sort of edited, but just all the really naughty stuff is left in. Entitled Mom wanted me to spend $200 on her kid's birthday gift. It's a big chunk of change. So there's this mom I know from back in the day that I went to high school with, who I mostly keep in touch with through Facebook. We were never super close, but we've stayed connected out of habit. Hung out here and there when we're both not doing anything. She's one of those people who posts a lot about being a girl boss, self-made, strong mom who don't need no man or anyone for her or her daughter. And her daughter who just turned 5. A few weeks ago, she messaged me about her kid's birthday party. The party was going to be at McDonald's because that's where the little one wanted it, which honestly I thought was kind of sweet. Then she mentioned this $200 Barbie house that her daughter has been crying and begging for, and said she was hoping some of her friends could chip in or take care of it. She asked if I could be the one to buy it. I told her I wasn't really in a position to spend that much, especially on a kid I've met maybe 5 or 6 times. I said I'd still love to come to the party and bring a smaller gift, but that was it. A day or so later, I saw a post on her Facebook that said something like,
"Funny how some people say they'll always be there, but can't even come through for your baby once."
There were emojis and hashtags about fake friends and disappointment. I didn't comment or anything, but several people jumped in to agree with her. I just kind of rolled my eyes and moved on. I get wanting your kid to have a good birthday, but expecting your friends to drop $200 like it's nothing? That's not how being a friend works. Absolutely not. $200 from one person for a kid's gift? Look, if your daughter wanted the Barbie dream house, and trust me, I have a 12-year-old daughter, I know all about those Barbie dream houses. They're expensive.
Great Scott!
If that was something that she really wanted, then maybe tell everyone that that's the only gift that she really wants and have everybody kind of chip in towards that. Whatever's left over, you as a parent need to pay. But even if those people can't do that, you can't expect anybody to just buy your daughter the gifts that she wants. And $200 on one present from one person? That's just me. I don't know. Entitled sister and brother-in-law, who are new parents, are not respecting me as a member of the household. For context, I, 21 female, have had a pretty close relationship with my sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, 30 female and 30 male. They are currently still living with my parents and I, since the rent is split between both parties, making it more convenient for everyone. My sister and her husband had their first baby in June, and since then, the household dynamic has changed. It no longer feels like our family home. It feels like we are living in my sister and her husband's house. The first issue. My sister's in-laws come over to my house way too much. My sister's in-laws already have a history of testing and crossing boundaries, paired with a lack of home etiquette is the way I would word it. Also, historically, my sister's husband sucks at setting affirmative boundaries with his family. The boundary the in-laws are choosing to cross now is that they come over way too much with the excuse that they are coming over to help my sister and her husband with the baby. It started off with only my sister's mother-in-law and sister-in-law coming over to help with the baby. It's now progressed to the mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and sister-in-law's bum-ass boyfriend, and the father-in-law coming over at the same time every week for days in a row. So everybody, every time, they're all just coming over. I would be losing my mind. This would be slightly excusable if they all equally contributed to helping out with my sister's baby. But a majority of the time, it's only the mother-in-law helping out. The rest of them just sit there on my couch using my TV for hours, even going as far as to take naps on my couch. I've been very patient with both my sister and her husband about the whole thing, because I'm very much aware that taking care of an infant is a lot, probably more work than I can even imagine. I also gave them grace because, as I mentioned, we are closer than most people are with their sister and brother-in-law. They've always been kind enough to invite me to their outings, buy me gifts they didn't need to, and just spoil me overall. For that, I'll forever be grateful. But I decided to speak up when the issue started affecting my mental health, about a month into the ordeal. It did not feel good coming home after a long day and seeing that I don't even have the liberty to enjoy my own home because there is an entire family taking up space in my living room. Okay, I'm confused. You keep saying my home, my living room, my couch, my TV. It's not yours, it's your parents, unless there's something that I'm not understanding. On top of that, I strongly dislike the sister-in-law's boyfriend, and now I'm being forced to see him all the time, in addition to family gatherings. To this day, I come home anxious and in fight or flight mode because the in-laws might be there, and I'm stressed that I might get fed up and snap on someone. It just felt like I was no longer receiving the respect and consideration I deserve as a member of the household. Well, I know I'd be losing my mind if my in-laws were around every day. What about your parents? I mean, you said you live with your parents. Do they not care? Despite this, I have communicated these sentiments calmly to my sister 3 times. Each time I feel like the conversation goes well, but then nothing about the situation changes. The last time I opened up to her, I told her that my emotions were escalating and that I was trying so hard to maintain the peace for both her and my brother-in-law, but she needed to do something to resolve it soon. You're coming off a little bit entitled yourself there. Now, you're saying that you've talked to your sister several times about this. If the issue isn't being resolved as you think it should, maybe it's because she doesn't have a problem with it. Maybe she likes having help with the baby. She told me she understood and that all she asked was for me to give her time. It's been a month since that conversation and nothing's changed. It almost feels like the in-laws have doubled down on their visits and are coming more than usual. Now I'm feeling even more disrespected because as if my efforts to communicate to her how I was feeling meant nothing to her, simply because both her and her husband are too scared to stand up to his family. Second issue, both my sister and her husband are now giving me the silent treatment because I slammed the door in front of the in-laws. As I mentioned, it was only a matter of time before I was directly rude to the in-laws. In fact, I had already stopped making the effort to greet them and acknowledge them when they'd come over. But those imbeciles clearly have no idea how to read social cues. I think you're being kind of cruel. Last week, the in-laws came over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I was angry, but I just held it in and did my usual. I was feeling really anxious on Monday, and even my usual coping mechanisms were not helping, making it kind of a shitty day in general. I thought they were here the entire weekend. Surely they won't be here today when I get home. So I texted my sister the following: please tell me they are not at the house today. I'm having a really bad day and I don't think I can handle it. She responds with a blunt, her husband's mom, dad, and sister-in-law's boyfriend are here. To me, her tone, I don't care about how your day went. They are here, so deal with it. I texted her back. This is getting really frustrating. No response from her. I walked into my house with my boyfriend pissed. He picks me up from campus and we head straight to my room. My anger was at its peak. It's been like 4 months of dealing with this BS at this point. I was done. My boyfriend and I decided to just not be at my house until they left, and on my way out, I slammed both my bedroom door and the front door. You can definitely tell that you're the baby of the family. I immediately receive an angry text from my sister, basically saying the following: really? You can be angry at me, but what you just did disrespected both my husband, my baby, and his family. First thing I thought was, how did I disrespect her baby by slamming the door? I responded to her basically saying that my anger was not directed towards her husband or her baby. It was directed at her invasive in-laws, and that I've told her about this escalating anger 3 times. I also called her out on how quick she was to scold me, but not her in-laws, who are basically stepping all over her and our family. But what are they doing? You're not really saying what they're doing to offend you so much, other than they're just coming over too much, which trust me, I wouldn't like either. She just reiterated to me that her in-laws are the ones who have been nothing but kind to her. Honestly, I'd have to say I agree. You seem like you've been really shitty to her, and the in-laws, for what I can tell, haven't done anything wrong other than just being around way too much. And her baby, and how her baby is her #1 priority now. Girl, nobody was asking her to not make her child her priority. The way she writes, it's funny. I was just pleading her to give me some goddamn respect and consideration in my own home. She also always makes it a point to emphasize her postpartum health issues too, to make me feel bad for calling her out on anything. Oh, whoa, is she going through postpartum stuff? Postpartum like depression? Because if so, then you definitely are the asshole. My last text to her essentially said that I acknowledge that she's going through a hard time. What? That doesn't mean she gets to invalidate my feelings and opinions about what goes on at our house. Her and her husband chose to have a baby in a shared household, so they need to take my parents and I both into consideration. Yeah, I'm wanting to know what your parents think about this. Very evident to me now that both my sister and her husband feel entitled to have sole control of the household because they are new parents, and now they are giving me the silent treatment. Mind you, her husband has never given me the silent treatment. Even the time I cussed my sister out in one of our worst fights. You cussed your sister out? Oh, but when I disrespect his mommy and his family, that's when he gives me the silent treatment. Pathetic. I feel very disillusioned by them right now, and it's with my head. Like, did they really change this much after having a baby? I broke down to my mom about all this. Oh, finally, the parents. Okay, I've been wondering, are the parents here? Do they exist? What's happening with parents? I broke down to my mom about all this, and she seems to support my side. My parents work a lot, so most of the time they miss the in-laws' frequent visits, or they get home right when they're about to leave. That's why it's been affecting me more than it affects them, and why they haven't said anything in the first place. My mom spoke to my sister on my behalf, and now my sister is claiming that the frequent visits should be ending when her maternity leave ends next week in November. I'm hesitant to believe her, but we'll see how that goes. She also said it would be rude for her to tell her in-laws, especially her mother-in-law, to not come over often. Like, no, dude. The way that she types, it's funny. I feel like I'm just like having a conversation with friends over coffee.
Like, no, dude.
That's just setting a boundary that they should respect and follow, especially if the house has other family members to take into consideration. Side note, I know I'm old enough to move out, and trust me when I say I'm working on it. Realistically, I may not move out for another year or so I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this issue now. Okay, that was a lot. So I just want to start by saying I don't think your sister is entitled or your brother-in-law. I think they're new parents that are probably having a hard time and they need help. You even mentioned that your parents are like never there, so maybe they need help, and so they're asking the in-laws to come over. Now, I will say, you keep saying my, and it sounds very selfish. Your parents were perfectly fine with them staying there with the baby. So it's her house too, especially if she's paying rent on it and you're not. Makes it a little bit more her house. And it doesn't sound like your parents really mind them coming over. I mean, you said your mom spoke on your behalf, but it doesn't sound like they're really that concerned. Now, despite how it might feel like I'm coming across that I'm like totally grilling you and not taking your side, to be perfectly honest, I am 100% on your side. If I was in this situation, I would be furious. There would be nothing I'd hate more than coming home every day. They're not even your in-laws, but still, I would be like, oh my God, why are these people here again? I'm somebody that really values the quiet. See, it's very quiet in here. I'm very happy about it. I like my personal space. I don't like a lot of people around. So I actually would be feeling exactly the same way as you are. So I think what needs to happen here is you need to ask your family, your mom, your dad, your sister, have them all sit down and talk to them about how you're feeling and come up with a plan. If they're literally coming over like every day, yeah, that shit needs to stop. And see kind of where everybody else is coming from and be really open about it. Come to a compromise. They can come over maybe during the week when everybody's working, during the times when you're not there, or maybe one day a week. They can come over on a Friday or a Saturday or something. But to come over every single day, I understand and I sympathize with your sister. Maybe a little bit more here because I have been a new mom and I know how hard it is, and I know how having help is so important, especially if you're struggling with postpartum depression. I do get her side, but I get yours as well. That would be my advice to you, is to sit down with your family, talk about this, and try to come to some sort of conclusion together as a family. And your sister needs to bend a little as well. She can't just have it her way all the time. Your voice should be heard, and your parents and hers. Also, I do just want to say, you must have had people telling you that you need to move out. That is not something I would have suggested to you. I just don't think that's realistic, especially for somebody your age and somebody who's still in school. And you're telling her, we'll just move out if you don't like it? In this economy? My mom, 36, reaction to me saying, I want to explore different religions. Oh, we serve God because he has kept me alive and your brother alive. A relationship with God is not up for debate. I'm taking that phone because I feel like the things you watch and people you associate with play a major role. She didn't say with. I threw that in there. I'm keeping it in. When we get home, give me the phone because I will not play when it comes to God. And if girlfriend plays a role, you can step back from that too. As for going to church, we gonna keep going, so get over it. That's how the enemy works. He has your generation so lost and out of touch, it's pathetic. Mother disowns me for not letting her stay for Christmas. I don't know why I feel like this one's gonna be good. No, not good. Not good for you. That was mean. You know what? I sound like an asshole. That's rude. The screenshots speak for themselves, really. All because I said no to her staying at Christmas and New Year. Some key points for context. 1, she visited for a bit over a week at a time, twice last year. So I'm unsure where this 3 years thing came from. 2, her birthday is 3 weeks after New Year's. 3. John is my biological father, who she likes to say I'm just like when she's upset with me. He isn't a nice person. 4. My children are 9 and 12 years old. 5. Yes, she lives a plane ride away, but only an hour. I'm guessing she didn't finish. I'm guessing she was saying only an hour and a half plane ride. Hi, Belle. Hi. They always start off so pleasant, don't they?
As it is now November, I thought I had better ask what your plans for Christmas and New Year's are.
Oh, words I dread hearing from my mother every year.
And whether there is an opening to have me come up for a stay. I wouldn't be driving, would have to fly, hopefully from Queenstown, if Pete could accommodate me in my car. Cannot believe how fast the year has passed. 75 is looming, irk. So many changes when one turns 75, like driving license and tests. Anyway, have a think and let me know, darling. Thanks, love, M.
This looks just like the way that my mom texts. She just like rambles when she messages, and it's like, okay. Hi, Mom. Crazy how it's almost Christmas. I'm working Christmas week and have stat days off. Don't have the kids for Christmas, but we have plans to go up to Whangarei, I don't know what that is, with them when we get them for New Year's. I only have stat days at New Year's. What is stat days? What does that mean?
I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
But can work remotely over that period. So Christmas and New Year's wouldn't work. What if you came up around your birthday instead? We'll still be working, of course, but I'll have the kids the weekend before and after your birthday. So you could come for either of those weekends.
It's a long way and expensive to come just for a birthday weekend. And I know you are a working mom. I won't intrude, because if you wanted me to come, you would have invited me by now. It's been 3 years and I hardly know the girls anymore. Or them me. Well, give them my love anyway. XO. Thanks, M.
Why is she putting her initial after everything like you don't know it's your mom? Oh my gosh, here comes the guilt trip. You can't do what she wants, so now it's all your fault. You're a bad daughter. Thanks for your message, Mom. I understand it's a long way to come and not easy to arrange. Maybe you could keep an eye out for grab-a-seat deals or specials. Then it could make an occasional weekend visit more doable. I'll pass your love on to the girls when they're next here. Oh, good for you for standing your ground.
I already do the things you suggested. Where do you think you got it from?
Well, excuse me.
I'm going to live every day as if you don't exist. That means no contact with you or your girls from now on. You remind me too much of John. No reply from you, please.
She is emotionally exhausting to be around. She can't take criticism, but loves to give it. She can always one-up your story. It was always harder or worse for her. If she feels slighted, she launches an attack. This is exactly like my mom, to be perfectly honest. This is the kind of stuff my mom would text me if she doesn't get her way.
Well, I guess I just won't see you. Well, I guess we just won't do it this way then.
Yeah, I guess we won't. And my mom is also very emotionally exhausting to be around. I've told you guys before, after she visits, I have to have like 2 days to decompress from just how exhausting she is. She's just so immature. Her mouth never stops, can't take criticism, and loves to dish it out. Very bitter. Just, yeah. I'm glad you stood your ground. Is this normal? Long story short, my dad is sick and in a wheelchair. She claims he never leaves the house, yet they go to my sister's house all the time, but will never come to my apartment. She's so mean it actually hurts. Oh my gosh. That last line, I know we've been kind of goofing around and lighthearted in this video, but she's so mean it actually hurts. Yeah, it does. It hurts really bad. There is a huge Halloween street fair going on tomorrow in between 6 and 9. Do you want to go with me? They're going to have art, shopping, and live music. They're closing the street down.
Do you really think I can go out at night with Dad here? He's not feeling so great. Anyway, hadn't eaten much. But thanks, if he croaks, I need to be here.
Well, that's rude. You can't leave him alone for 1 hour? And then you said he doesn't leave the house, but you're always at Carissa's, so I get it. If you don't want to chill with me, just say so.
I do not go out at night or around crowds. Too bad. People nuts now. I don't go near crowds.
Okay.
I don't owe no one nothing or explanations. I'm 66. Do as I wish. Don't answer to no one. Laugh my f***ing ass off.
Am I overreacting for not wanting my 14-year-old daughter to have another baby? I'm sorry, what now? Another baby? Okay, so my 14-year-old daughter already has a 4-month-old baby, whom I absolutely love with all my heart. I've been begging her to get on birth control since she's had the baby, but no, she says it's bad for you and don't want to get on it. So here we are. My grandbaby is only 4 months old and my teenage daughter is pregnant again. I don't believe in and would never make her get one. But I told her she needs to explore other options, such as maybe adoption. She is not open to it at all. I already help her so much with my grandbaby now. Another one would be way too much, I think. Mind you, I just had open heart surgery on September 9th, and I'm still recovering. I am still on oxygen and my health isn't too good right now. Is this real? Is this real? We're just gonna, for the sake of this video, we're just gonna say this is real. The only thing I can say to all this is I hope CPS comes in and takes all of these children.
Police! Help! Police! Help!
Am I overreacting for not wanting to put my 12-year-old autistic daughter in a facility? My husband keeps trying to talk me into putting our child in a facility, and I can't even wrap my head around it. She's my baby, but at the same time, I'm so mentally and emotionally exhausted that I don't know what else to do. I'm paying out of pocket for therapy sessions and doctor visits and everything else because insurance barely covers anything. I don't even recognize myself anymore. I'm stressed out every single day to the point my hair is falling out. I don't take pictures because I don't feel pretty, because I don't do anything for myself. I'm always so angry because my days are filled with therapy sessions, doctor's visits, and meltdowns. Every day feels like a battle I'm barely surviving. Some days I honestly worry that my body will just give up from the stress. I can't go to the bathroom without her following me. If I close the door, she bangs on it or herself. I can't shower until she's asleep. Can't sit down without her having a meltdown. My entire life revolves around her needs. I can't do anything for myself because I'm always dealing with her. I love her more than anything, and I try so hard to be the best mom I can be. And I know none of this is her fault, but I'm breaking. I don't have a village. I don't have support. And I'm so tired. Everyone thinks I'm strong because I have to be. I don't really have a choice. But the truth is I'm drowning every day. I'm barely keeping my head above water. My life doesn't feel like my own anymore. It's completely controlled by my daughter's needs. She controls everything I do. My whole life revolves around her. So when I read this, I at first was thinking, well, how old is she? Because the whole following you to the bathroom, banging on the door, I'm like, that sounds like typical toddler behavior that you need to correct. And then when I read that her daughter is 12, I was like, oh yeah, that's not normal, I don't think. But I also feel like I shouldn't even have an opinion on this because I don't know what it's like. So I did save the post here from this person that I think they said it really, really well. I have never been in a situation like this, so I can't pretend to give meaningful advice. That said, this really jumped out at me. If I close the door, she bangs on it or herself. It doesn't seem like this is a case where getting her more help is a case of you doing something selfish at her expense. She's not doing well, even with all the love and care you're providing. It seems to me like some more intensive support would be doing everyone a service if you have the option. Would I be the bad apple if I stopped helping another mother? I, 33 female, have my son in a school on the other side of the smallish town we live in because I liked the staff there and felt more comfortable there than at our neighborhood school. This means I drive every day because we're way too far to walk. At the beginning of the school year, I noticed that another mom of a child in my son's, a 6-year-old son, grade was walking home. So I offered her a ride home after drop-off because why not? She took me up on it, and soon her daughter was asking my son for rides home from school for the first month or so of school. After a few weeks, they stopped asking and just started assuming. I was whatever about it because their apartment is more or less on my way home, and their walk is probably more than I could tolerate, lazy American that I am. At first, the daughter would play with my son on the playground and they would have fun. So I was more than happy to support a budding friendship. My son has developmental delays, so he's a little odd, and I've noticed the daughter has started pulling away and avoiding interactions with him. She asks her mom if they can get a ride with someone else almost every day, but the mom usually says no and follows us to our car, which again is whatever. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like that's a little rude for the mom to just assume every single day you're going to give her a ride, but if that's what it's been like the whole time, then I mean, I guess I kind of get it. I feel bad for the little girl that she has to go home with me and my kid when she'd rather go with someone she likes. But I am not doing anything to be liked. I just want to help where I perceive a need. The problem has started recently. I found out that I am pregnant and morning sickness is kicking my butt. I barely hold it together to drive to and from school, and it's not just in the morning. After school is bad too. I'm now super sensitive to smells, and the problem that I am encountering is that the other mom smells like cigarette smoke. I didn't used to notice it. And I really try not to judge others for their choices, but it's a smell that just makes me want to yak at the best of times. And I'm not currently living in the best of times. At first, when I smelled it, I just rolled down the windows on my way home from her apartment to air out the smell. But now it's hard work not gagging in front of her. I feel really bad because I do not want to offend her, and I totally understand how some people depend on smoking to get through the day. My crutch is Dr. Pepper, but the smell is getting unbearable. I don't know how to move forward because I really don't want to offend her, but the need to avoid smell smells that trigger nausea is strong. I don't want to stop helping her because other than the smell, it's really not a big deal to give her and her kid rides home. Any advice? My advice for you would be to just be honest and tell her that you're pregnant, you can smell the cigarette smoke on her, and it's making you really sick. We can't help what makes us really nauseous when we're pregnant. I don't really see any other way to avoid this situation, especially since you have been saying this whole time that you don't mind. So I would just be honest. You shouldn't feel bad for that. It's not your responsibility to give them rides anyway. It's really not. And you've been, I think, nothing but super kind so far. Am I overreacting for not wanting to eat any of this? I asked my mom if she can order food today. She said there's food at home, and this is what she's talking about. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, look at that fridge. That's disgusting. What is all over the top? There's like crap all over. Is that just food just sitting right out? And the strawberry packages have like the holes in them, kind of. So that stuff's getting in the strawberry. Wow, that's really nasty. When I told her I didn't want to eat anything out of the fridge, she said that I was ungrateful and needed to get a job. But I'm 14. People make jokes about how much I eat at school, but they don't know that I barely eat at home because of the way we are living. And it's so annoying because she just doesn't see how bad it really is. That is so gross. And I don't even know what advice to give you because you're still young. For her to say to get a job, you're 14. First of all, you can't get a job. You're underage. And two, why would she not want to provide for you? I'm so tired of these shitty ass parents. Well, if there is one thing you can count on from this community, it's that they will be very helpful and give you advice, and maybe somebody down below can help you out. Because I honestly don't know what I would do in this situation either. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today. If you have bad, crappy parents like I do, just know that you're not alone, and this is a community that really supports, is really there for each other. So until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I love you guys so much. Bye.